Tweet or delete. This is a segment where we have a bunch of saved tweets in our drafts, and we decide right now whether we would tweet them or delete them. Let's go. You ready, Tyler?
Yeah, I don't know what these are, and it's spontaneous as always. So if it's a bad one, I'm just going to laugh at you and say next. So
yeah, fair enough.
Fair warning. Fair warning.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I like your genuine reactions. Yeah. Tweet number 1. Rogue could have escaped any other group.
No, that's dumb. They went 1-5. They no.
You don't think they would have escaped Group C?
No.
Take Fnatic out, put Rogue in. You don't think they would get out? No, huh?
No.
Wow. Okay.
What
do you have against Rogue? I thought you wore a blue hoodie the entire year.
I love Rogue, but we're asking this question after they went 1-5 in a group where they were the 4th best team in a group. Yes, I do agree that 2 of the top 3 teams were here, but they weren't even better than PSG Talon. I think PSG Talon played Damon and JD Gaming better. Rogue had one really awesome game, which was the first game of groups versus PSG Talon, but that was really off of the heels of a very ingenious level 1 where Hansam and Vander creeped into the mid lane and, got that gank off in the mid lane as a level 1 bot duo. So Rogue, I think, have the potential to be a team to make top 8. Larson did not have a good tournament. Inspired in a jungle-focused meta where a jungler has to carry for a team to go far, wasn't up to snuff. Finn, people talked about him being a liability. They put him on a lot of champions like Malphite to kind of keep him alive, and I don't think he performed terribly, but teams did pick on him. And the bot lane, which was their strong point for a lot of the tournament, was it was a strong point, but this is not a bot-centric meta, and their best shining moment was them ganking in the first game of the series as, pseudo junglers. So, no, the answer is no. This is a long answer saying no. Maybe they would do better in other groups, but I don't think they would advance in any other group. So, maybe PSG Talon. Maybe if you put PSG Talon in that question, it could be a bit more interesting.
Yeah, Shirius agrees in the chat. I think PSG might have had a better chance in some other groups. All right, this might be a controversial one. Tweet number 2 is NA and OCE merge NA and EU instead.
Are you just trying to make me laugh with these questions? For if you want to make people maul, if you want to anger people, I don't know how. If we fused NA and EU, I'm trying to think of what NA player like obviously Blabber and Licorice and would find a way onto teams maybe even top teams, but it would do nothing but kill off North America and Oceania. It's similar to the Oceania into NA thing, right? Where sure, we'll see a few Oceania players now break into the LCS, but I don't think it's going to be a stampede of Osh players coming to the NA because now they're residents. I think players like Fudge, King, maybe Lost, obviously FBI is already one of the better players in NA. Those players are going to be hot commodities and probably make starting rosters, but I don't think they're just going to stampede over. And it would be the same thing if you combined NA and EU. Sure, Blabber would, do well, and I think he would, level up as a player, and you could maybe see him grow to being one of the world's best in Europe when you have stiffer competition all year long. But overall, I think no, just keep them separate. It's a lot more fun when you have they're the main rivals. You don't want rivals being merged together. So yeah, delete that one.
Third tweet is TSM will finish Worlds 2020 winless.
Ooh, this is a good one. That's a hard one. I'll say I think it comes down to their first game versus Fnatic. If they beat Fnatic, I think, and the magic's there. If they get that one win, they got that spring in their step. 2 games away from the miracle run. I think they play with. I think the one thing is that they go in tomorrow with nothing to lose, right? They're already embarrassed week 1. They went 0-3. Their last game versus LGD was kind of a mess. They tried to play, LeBlanc, and it failed, and it fell on their face. So they come into week 2 with really no regrets, no fear. They should just play play for fun, play hard. And if I think they beat Fnatic, I think then, storyline's alive. I think they could do some damage. I think if they lose to Fnatic, they just kind of falter. I think if they lose to Fnatic and their tournament's over, I think they just get stomped 0-6. So Will they be Fnatic? Heart says yes, brain says no, Arda. So I usually tweet with my brain because I don't want to get fired. So I'm going to say yes, I'll tweet that.
Might be a quote tweet opportunity, like a crying emoji or something.
Yeah.
Like quote, yeah. Tweet number 4: G2 will be the only Western team in playoffs. I tweet that. I tweet that.
No, I won't tweet that. I think Fnatic's really good, and I think
you think Fnatic makes it in?
I think when you look at this meta, you really have to come. A lot of it does come down to how much do you trust your jungler. How good is your jungler? Is your jungler strong enough on various jungle carry picks to run the map? Do you see them as a person who can run over the other team's jungler, and if they are skilled enough to just take over the jungle? We've seen Canyon do it. We've seen SOFM do it with Suning. Those are the top 2 teams so far. Those are the 2 best junglers in their respective groups. Who's the best jungler in Group C? You have Klid, you have Selfmade, you have Peanut, and you have Spica. The team with the weakest jungler is 0-3. I do think Selfmade right now is in this meta with his Eve pick being just insta-bannable. I do think he might be the most dangerous jungler in Group C. And because of that, and because of my belief in Selfmade, I do think Fnatic will make it out. Unless, things go awry in week 2. Which is always possible, but I do believe in Selfmade as a player. And even if, Hillsang could be a bit off at times, and Whippo can have his, slumps and dips and everything. And, Nemesis isn't in a position where you would want him to, hard carry. This is a meta where it's all about the jungler and, the roaming support and the jungler support kind of taking over. Hillsong is a great roaming support, and Selfmade is a hard carry jungler. And this is why Fnatic bought him in the offseason. So I'm not saying they're going to be the number 1 seed coming out of Group C, but I do think Fnatic will make it to the top 8.
And they do have a head-to-head advantage, too, because they beat LGD, who you would think between Gen.G and LGD are the weaker team on paper. Yeah. They did lose to LGD, but week 2, maybe backs against the wall, the business side of things, maybe they get that victory. So really it comes down to the Fnatic Gen.G matchup, and you would expect Gen.G to beat LGD, and maybe TSM pull off an upset against LGD too, right? Even if they play the role of spoiler, you could see a world where that happens. So if it seems you're right. It seems more probable that LGD will fall from grace than Fnatic will not be able to keep their footing. So fair enough.
Don't give LGD their team fighting compositions. Don't let them scale. Push them early. Force them to be proactive early and see if Peanut can keep up with you. Because I think LGD, if you let them get into their sweet spot, which is that their 20 to 25 minute team fighting, putting Mark on Leona, giving GA a champion you can team fight with, that's when they're dangerous. But if you can stop them early and you can curb their ascent and you curb their scaling, I think that they are a team that is exploitable, as we saw various times during the plan. So I think Fnatic and Gen.G will make it out of Group C, even though I think it'd be hilarious somehow if TSM could revive with the Undertaker and just kind of blow the internet.
By God.
By God, by God, TSM, by God,
Bjergsen. Family, yeah, exactly. Last one is Grand Finals will be China versus Korea.
I feel like this is very determined on the RNG of the draw. If Damwon and GD Gaming can't be on the same side of the bracket, so those 2 teams will be directly opposed from each other. If TES is on the other side of Damwon, then yes, I would tweet this. If TES and Damwon are on the same side of the bracket, I think things become a lot messier. I hope they're on the other side of the bracket. I hope JD Gaming and TES are one side of the bracket, and I think Damwon on the other would make it more fair. I think Damwon and G2 on one side and the 2 top Chinese teams on the other would make it the most interesting if that was the semifinal, if those 4 teams could make it. And I think that would be a pretty banger semifinal lineup. But I think, I actually do. I feel like it will be a Korea-China final. I don't know how, don't know the combination. I do think it'll be Damwon versus one of the top Chinese teams. Maybe even Suning could, pull off a dark horse run. But it does feel like a China-Korea final is needed. I feel like this tournament's all been about China and South Korea's dominance. China staying with the form they've had the last 2 years, the back-to-back world champions. South Korea kind of finding their form back into, trying to regain that throne they lost back in 2018 from Invictus Gaming. So
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel it. Let's give me an old Korea versus China final. I think it's needed.